I got my base box built here. What this is some .060 styrene plastic. So what I did is I measured out the edges and I built those around here, and then once those were glued I pulled it off and then measured out the top. So now, let me do it this way. Got my hole drill for my button, hole drill for the button. So now what I can do is it'll just slide right in. And there we go, got a base. And I take my rod here, stick it inside, good to go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back apart and paint the plastic black, and then put the rod in, and I'll paint it all black, the rod, the base, everything. Just kind of trying to figure out all of my wiring for this. I still need to prime this bottom half and light block the inside, which I will do next, but I was just wanting to show a little bit. There are two driver boards here, one for each stepper motor that goes to the nacelle, and then an Arduino Nano that's going to power it. As you can see, I got my wire running through here. I think I want to put a couple more in here to be able to feed the wire through so they all stay contained, because I still need to be able to run power up to these nacelles for the bussards, and then of course for the engine exhaust things. And of course there'll still be the LED strip here and here and here for the lights. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and prime everything and then light block the inside, and then I'll go from there. Alright, I got the pieces primed and light blocked on the inside. Also did it for the bottom part, light blocked the nacelles. Doesn't really need it here because there's no light in the pylons. And I had covered these with some blue masking tape, because I'm going to use LED strip. It's got the sticky back on it, so it works better if it can stick to something that's clean and not paint. And I left this wood raw here too, because I need a 5-minute epoxy board on here to be able to place my logic boards on top of. So I'm going to let this dry overnight, and now I'm going to move on to some lighting. To achieve the counter-rotating blades in the bussards, I'm starting with this, which has the counter-rotating. I think this was like $6 on Amazon. The link for everything I bought for this I'll put down in the description. And I also got some pre-wired stepper motors. These are 8mm stepper motors. So I need to take this apart, get rid of everything on here except for what I need, and then I wind up with this. I'd already cut the shaft down, measured everything, and then cut the inner shaft also. Since this motor is bigger than the one that comes with this part, I had to cut everything away from there except for this brace so I could 5-minute epoxy it. Also, the stepper motor comes with a brass gear on it, which is too small in diameter to work with this, so I had to cut that off and then take the plastic gear off of the original motor and 5-minute epoxied it to this stepper motor. So now I need to go ahead and I'll show you how I drilled out the blades so they will fit on top. The blades, there are slots inside here that the blades go into, so the blades needed to be cut down, because when you glue them into the bussard top here, they're meant to glue into these little slots, so they're not meant to rotate without hitting each other without friction. So I had to cut some off of the ends and then carefully drilled a hole through the middle of the bottom one so it would slide over the larger shaft, and then also drilled out a hole in the top one so it will fit over top of that shaft, so that when you turn the motors, then they counter rotate. My idea for lighting the Bazaars is I have a couple of wheel parts here. These are from my Revell Kenworth semi truck. There are several of these in the kit, which is good because I already ruined one because I couldn't decide how many LEDs I wanted to put in there. I started with 5 and I didn't think that was enough, so I went to 7. So what I did was I first just cut a strip of paper, wrapped it around and marked it, cut it so I could get, lay it out flat and get my length. Then I took it into Illustrator, did that length and put some tick marks on there, some lines, and then taped it together so I could slide it over this sleeve and go in and with a pencil and then mark my lines so I could drill the holes. So I did that. Started the holes with a finger drill bit, and then I worked up to a larger size, and then worked up to another larger size, and then finally coming to this size. So now a 3mm flickering LED will fit in the hole. So now I can, if I get 7 of these in here with these white flickering LEDs, this should give me the light that I'm looking for. Plus they'll all be flickering, so it's going to be a random flicker all the way around. And then the bussard cap will go over top and it fits almost perfectly. So I'm going to continue drilling out the holes in the other piece and get a little more progress, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. The housing for the LEDs, I took another wheel part from the same kit and drilled out the middle so that I had clearance for the back of the motor part to be able to go in there. Filled this part with some silly putty and then obviously sprayed it all black. I think I have 4 or 5 coats on here to light block it. So now what I need to do is insert the LEDs and get everything wired up. I will do that and then I'll come back and show you that. Got one of the light housings completed. I did go in and I drilled tiny holes underneath the bigger holes so that I could bend the negative side of the LED over and push it through to the inside. So originally I was going to do all of my negative on the inside and my positive on the outside, but after I thought about it I came up with a different idea. So once it was bent and pushed it in, the negative side was bent, pushed in through this side. I went through and super glued each LED. Then I clipped off the inside of the negative side of the LEDs. Took the black wire, went around to each one and soldered it. Then I came to the positive side, took 470 ohm, soldered it to the positive side, clipped off each end and bent them in the same direction here. Then I folded the resistor sides over, soldered those to the red wire, and then pushed them over to the inside, because I need clearance, because it's not a very big nacelle. There's not a lot of space inside. So this way I've got plenty of clearance in here for the motor to go into, the gear housing part, and it's flat enough here on the top so that I've got plenty of room inside the nacelle also. So what I'll do now is I'll take the motor part, take these blades off, and I'll put everything together, including the outside and everything, and then I'll come back and show you that. Got the test fit together. Nothing's glued. Everything is just held together with poster tack. I still need to also go in and light block the back of the LEDs here. And then I also want to take some 5-minute epoxy and secure some of the spots here. I mean, the solder is going to hold it. It's not going anywhere, but I still want to go in and insulate it and make sure that nothing will get yanked out by accident or something when I'm putting it in the actual nacelle. And the motor's not connected either. I still have to paint everything and put the inside blade that goes inside this bubble in there. But it does give a really nice pulsating effect with the 7 flickering LEDs. I did switch to yellow, as you can see, and then when I do the sanding on the clear piece, and then I'll spray it with some orange, and I should get the orange effect similar to what was on the ship in the movie. So when I turn my blades here, you can see they all counter rotate, which is what they're supposed to do, and looks pretty good. Looking like it's going to work pretty well. So I still have to do the second one, do all the soldering and all that stuff, and I'll do all that and paint also off camera. So that's going to do it for part 3. I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for subscribing, and I will see you guys for part 4.